Hello friends, welcome back to Yogahound. Today Sonia and I are coming at you with a mat review. Did you like how that rhymed? I totally did that on purpose. No, I did not. I did not at all. It's actually really cold in Toronto today. It's like minus 25, no joke. It's freezing. And Sonia and I went for like a 5-minute walk and nearly froze our little bums off. So we came back here and we decided to film. So here we are. We're going to be doing a mat review. As usual, Sonia is making an appearance at the beginning of the video, but then she's gonna go nap because that's what she does. Especially when it's cold outside like this, she just likes to go under the blankets and hibernate and be warm. Right, Pepper? Also, if you're looking at my face and you're like, girl, you look like a disco ball because my highlight's so potent. First of all, thank you. That's exactly the look I was going for. Second of all, I'm totally channeling my inner Jeffree Star today. Although probably not, because this would be considered tame for him. But I don't know, I just wanted to play around with some stuff and see how it turned out. So this is what my face looks like today. So as I mentioned, today we're going to be doing a little mat review. So as a yoga teacher, I have a bunch of different mats. I have a mat for every occasion. But what I didn't have in my collection and what I struggled with a lot was a mat that was super grippy. So for things like hot yoga or like even really sweaty workout classes, I didn't really have a mat that would allow me to not slide around and still be grippy even when I was sweaty. So I was really on the lookout for a mat like that. And of course there's lots of options out there, but it was also important for me that the mat was like good for the environment, that it was biodegradable, made of natural materials, and it wouldn't break my bank. And so I was really lucky actually to find such a mat at the yoga and wellness show that I attended a little while ago. There was a booth by a brand called Tranqui Yogi. I've never heard of them before, like prior to going to the show. I had no idea that they even existed, but I'm really glad I discovered them because they're kind of a really cool brand, and obviously I bought a mat from them, which I love, and I've been putting it to the test for a couple of months now, so I can really do an in-depth review on it. Also, I am completely and utterly losing the battle with my hair today. Sometimes it just does its own thing, so please just excuse that. Anyway, so here is the mat in question. It's super cool looking. I'll insert pictures of what it actually looks like. It's a matte black mat, which I love, like my soul, matte black, beautiful. It has just this Tranqui Yogi logo on it, and once the mat is completely and fully open, it has, you can see the lotus flower on it. So this particular mat that I got is called the Serenity Essentials High Density Natural Rubber Yoga Mat by Tranqui Yogi. It's $99.95 Canadian, so it's not the cheapest thing out there, but it's also not like Manduka levels of expensive. It's 72 inches by 26.5, so it's actually a pretty big mat. Like, it's a lot wider than my other mats that I've owned. Like, I think the length is about the same, but it's definitely wider. Like, it's a wide mat, which I really like, and I'm going to talk about all the pros and the cons of this mat in just a second, but first I'm telling you kind of about what the mat is. It's 100% biodegradable, and it's made out of natural rubber. I don't know what natural rubber is, like how does natural rubber occur. Maybe I should have done research into this a little bit more, but I did not. But what I really, obviously, like I said, it's 100% biodegradable, which was a really important feature to me. Like, I wanted to make sure that the mat I was using was going to be good for the environment, because I'm hoping this mat's gonna last me a really long time, but eventually I will have to get rid of it, and I want to make sure I'm not like causing damage to the environment. There's already enough of that. The mat is high density, and that is supposed to help with protecting of the joints and with weight distribution during practice, which is a huge deal obviously in yoga. When you're weight bearing into your hands or your knees or even on your feet, you want to, because you're barefoot, you want to make sure you can distribute your weight evenly, and it is 100% natural, so that's again really important. Alright, so now let's talk about all of the things that are really good about this mat that I really, really love. So obviously the fact that it's 100% natural and biodegradable is a huge bonus. Like I said, it was one of the most important things that I was looking for when I was purchasing a mat, and I knew that was going to cost a little bit more, which is fine. Like, I was okay with that. So obviously I think that's a really, really big deal, and I love that this mat is biodegradable, because like I said, even though I'm hoping that this mat is going to last me for many years to come, eventually I know I will have to get rid of it, and I want to make sure that when I do, it doesn't, you know, it's not a pollutant essentially. The mat is completely non-slip. Like, this is absolutely nuts to me. Like, it is so grippy. I don't know how they managed to do this. I really have no idea how, but the mat is so incredibly grippy. So I took this mat to hot yoga classes that are obviously get really sweaty. TMI. Also, I do this class called Y Sculpt, which is basically like a fitness class. It's high intensity, and it's in a hot, like it's in a room that's really warm. Usually gets to about 32, 35 degrees Celsius in there. So you get really sweaty, like dripping sweat. And I have always struggled with my other mats being very slippy when there's sweat involved. So for example, if you're like doing a practice where you're sweating a lot, and at the end of the practice, your mat's all covered in sweat, you're trying to hold down dog, it's really frustrating because your hands keep slipping. That was a big issue that I had. But with this mat, it doesn't happen. Like, it somehow just like it wicks the sweat away. Like, it doesn't get wet and it doesn't get slippy. So no matter how much you've been sweating, even towards the end of the practice, holding down dog is not a problem. It's actually amazing. The other thing is the high density actually does really help, and it's surprising because really the mat is not that thick. Like, the mat itself, I don't know if you can see, but it's actually not the thickest mat. It doesn't seem super cushiony, and it's not super soft. Like, it's not like a pillowy type of mat, you know? But I was surprised about how much cushioning and how much support for your joints it actually provides. I don't have the most sensitive knees. Like, I'm fine with my knees, but I do have really protruding hip bones. Like, my hip bones really stick out. So all of the things that you do on your belly sometimes can be pretty painful. So, you know, things like cobra or like bow pose, anything where you're on your stomach, does tend to hurt my hip bones a lot. But I don't find this happening with this particular mat. I do think that it's really supportive. And the other thing is the density of it really does help with weight distribution. So I find it a lot easier to like weight bear into my hands, you know, when you're doing down dog on tabletop and you're wanting to really put the weight like into the knuckles and the fingertips of your hands. I'm finding that I'm able to do that a lot easier. The same thing with like if you're into Dasana and you're really trying to feel the mat under your feet. I find that it's really helpful. It really like kind of makes you feel all the 4 points of your feet, if you know what I mean. Like, it's really it really does work. And just like on the high density texture point of it, there's something about this mat that just makes you feel really good to be on it. Like, it makes you feel, it's such a bizarre thing to try and explain because it's more of like maybe an emotional thing than anything, but it just feels nice. Like, it feels really safe, really sturdy. It really makes you feel like you're on your home base. Also because it is wide, like it's a lot, not a lot, but like it is wider than a standard like regular mat. It makes you feel like you're really taking up space, and that like is your space on your mat. So if you're in a yoga class or whatever, it just makes you feel gives you like a safety zone, if you know what I mean. So if you're surrounded by other people, it helps me feel like I'm on this little island that's just mine and no one can really penetrate it. The feel of it, like, it just feels nice. Like, the texture of it is very pleasing. If you are into textures, like I can't do, for example, like anything that's wool that's itchy, it makes me cringe. Like, I lose my, no. So this mat feels really nice. Like, I just wanna touch it. Is that weird? It's probably weird, but like, it feels really nice. Like, I wish you could feel it. You should feel it. It feels great. These mats also come in a range of different colors. I picked black because I like black, and I really like the, you know, it's a really like sleek kind of like a matte black, which I love. I think it's I don't know, I feel like it's something that the Black Widow would use if she were practicing yoga, you know. Makes me feel really, really cool like that. So I picked this color, but it is available in other colors as well. I think there's like a blue, a purple, something else, I don't know. But it comes in a variety of different colors, and but all of them look really nice and sleek and cool. So like, it's just a cool mat. Like when when you're coming to your yoga class and you roll it open, you're like, yeah, that's my mat. It's cool. I am Black Widow. Not really. Now obviously, like I just said, this mat has a lot of really amazing qualities, but it's not without its downfall. So there's less downfalls in this mat than there are positives, I think, but there are a few that are, I think, important to address. It's heavy. You could work out with this. Like, you could, it's like, it's a heavy mat. It's not like, I think there's a couple of Manduka mats that are really heavy. It's not that heavy, but it's pretty heavy. I don't know how much exactly it weighs, but it's a commitment. So if, like, for example, you are planning on bringing this mat to work and then heading to the class right after work, it might not be the most comfortable thing because you can't really fold it up. Like, it just comes like this, like you can't fold it. So you would have to carry it this way, and it's heavy. So if you're like taking the subway or public transportation, I don't know if that's the best mat for doing that, specifically just because it is heavy. Like, I take this if I'm doing a home practice, but also my yoga studio that I practice at for classes is actually not that far away. It's about a 15-minute walk. So I don't mind carrying it like on my shoulder or crossbody, but even then, like, I can definitely feel the weight. So it's a heavy mat, so you have to keep that in mind. I don't think it would be good if you're trying to like take it on the subway with you and whatever. I think it's a grab your mat from home to go to class kind of a mat, to be honest. The other thing is, because it is so sweat wicking or moisture wicking and so absorbent, it's hard to clean. So if you have any of those like mat cleaners that are in a spray bottle, and that you spray on the mat and you take a cloth and like whatever wipe it, you can't do that because you spray it and the drops just like absorb into the mat directly, so you can't wipe them, they stay there. And eventually they dry and they evaporate, and the mat doesn't, like, there's no there's no marks on it. Like, the marks go away, there's no drop marks or anything. But if you spray it, like I said, the drops just sink in and then you can't really clean it effectively. So you have to use like a wipe. Like, I use a natural like antimicrobial wipe after, or you will need to use like a damp cloth or something like that to clean it. But it's not, you can't spray it. Does not work. No bueno. And then the last con is obviously the cost. So it's a $99.95 Canadian plus tax. So it's not cheap, it is an investment. Of course, it's not the most expensive mat out there on the market. Like, there are mats that are much more expensive than this, but it's also not like your $20 mat from Winners or TJ Maxx or whatever. However, I think that if you're serious about your yoga practice, it is worth investing in it because it will last you a long time. And like I said, it has a lot of benefits to it as well. So even though it is pricey, I think that it is worth it if you're able to kind of put the money aside and afford it. So to conclude, there are definitely cons to this mat. It's not a perfect mat. It's quite heavy. It can be pretty hard to clean if you're using a spray bottle, and it's pricey. However, overall, I think that even though those downfalls are present, I think this mat is great, and I would actually highly recommend it. I do think it's worth it. Like, I think the price is justified because it's a great quality mat. It's biodegradable. It's 100% natural, which is a hugely important thing. I think that's pretty hard to find sometimes for this kind of a price anyway. It's non-slip. Like, it'll definitely hold you in place no matter how sweaty you get. The high density material really helps you protect your joints, and it helps you with your weight, with the weight distribution, and it just feels nice. Like, I honestly love practicing on this mat. It feels so great, and I'm just really excited and happy to get on my mat whenever I'm using this mat. So at the end of the day, I would really highly recommend it. I recommend that you check them out. I am not sponsored. I don't have an affiliate link or anything like that. It's just, I really love this this mat, and I think this is a great company. So go check them out. I'm going to leave a link to their site below. They also have other products, like they have yoga wheels and they have blocks and straps and things like that, so you can check that out as well. But the mats, I think, are really, really super on point. Okay, so I hope you guys found this video helpful as always. If you like this content, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another video with Yoga Hound. And I hope I'm going to see you guys back here super soon. Have a good one.